So today we are going to study engineering curves. So engineering curves can be classified into three main categories. First one is the conic sections. Under this category we have curves that can be obtained by sectioning or cutting a cone. In this category comes the ellipse, parabola and hyperbola. So we will learn how to draw these curves and also how to draw tangent and normals to these curves. Next category is the roulettes, curves that are obtained when a curve or a straight line rolls over another curve or a straight line. Now notice here that it is not possible for a straight line to roll over another straight line. Under this category we have cycloid, epicycloid, hypocycloid and involute. So we will learn how to draw these curves and also how to draw tangent and normals to these curves. The third category is the other curves, under which we are going to study Archimedean spiral and helix. Helix can be of a cylinder or a cone. Here we are going to study helix of a cylinder. The first category of engineering curves is conic sections. Ellipse, parabola and hyperbola are called conic sections because they can be obtained by cutting a cone in specific ways. So now we will see how we can obtain these curves by cutting a cone. So first of all, ellipse. When the cutting plane cuts a cone in such a way that it cuts all the slant edges or the generators of the cone, then the shape of the section that we obtain is an ellipse. But it is not necessary for the cutting plane to cut all the generators. Instead of this cutting plane, if the cutting plane cuts the cone like this, then also we will get an ellipse, but that will be an incomplete ellipse. So we can say that if the angle of the cutting plane with the base of the cone is less than the angle of the slant edge, then we get ellipse as the shape of the section. Then a parabola. If the cutting plane cuts the cone in such a way that cutting plane is parallel to the generator of the cone, then the shape of the section that we obtain is a parabola. If the cutting plane is parallel to the axis of the cone, then the shape of the section that we obtain is a hyperbola. But it is not necessary for the cutting plane to be parallel to the axis. If the angle of the cutting plane with the base of the cone is more than angle of the slant edge, then we get a hyperbola. In addition to these, there are two more shapes that can be obtained by cutting a cone. Those shapes we are not going to study here. Those shapes are circle and an isosceles triangle. If we have a cone and it is cut by a cutting plane passing through the apex, then the shape of the section that we obtain is an isosceles triangle. If the cutting plane is parallel to the base, then the shape of the section that we obtain will be a circle. There is another possibility that the cutting plane cuts the cone like this, that it is inclined to the base but passing through the apex. In this case also we are going to get an isosceles triangle. If the same cutting plane, which has an angle with the base more than the slant edge, it does not pass through the apex, then we will get a hyperbola. So we will start with ellipse. Ellipse is the most commonly used curve in engineering drawing, of course after the circle. So the various definitions and terminologies of the ellipse you have already studied in your class 12th, but just a recap or a revision. Major axis of the ellipse is shown as AB. Minor axis of the ellipse is CD. The point of intersection of major axis and the minor axis, that is the center of the ellipse, is shown as O. F1 and F2 are the two foci points such that F1C is equal to F1D is equal to F2C is equal to F2D. So the distance of the foci points from the end points of the minor axis are equal, and they are equal to semi-major axis AO or BO. Then P is any point on the ellipse at which we have to draw tangent and normal. Tangent to the ellipse is shown as the line TT and the normal is shown as the line NN. So now we will see various methods of drawing an ellipse. So the first one is draw an ellipse by concentric circles method when the major and minor axis of the ellipse are given to us. So the first step is to draw both the axes as perpendicular bisectors of each other and name their ends as AB and CD like this. After this, taking their intersecting point O as center, draw two concentric circles of diameters equal to the major axis AB and the minor axis CD. After this, divide both these circles in 12 equal parts. I am dividing here in 12 parts. You can divide in 8 parts also if you want, but preferably divide into 12 parts. By dividing into 12 parts, we will get more number of points, and when we have to draw the ellipse by a smooth curve, more number of points will be useful for us. Then name the points on the circles as shown here in the diagram on the right. I start from point A and move in a clockwise direction like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Similarly, on the inner circle also, I write point number 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash and so on, making sure that 1 and 1 dash lie on the same line. Similarly, 2 and 2 dash also lie on the same line and so on. Then from all the points on the outer circle, that is point number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., draw vertical lines towards the major axis. This means that from point number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, I have to draw vertical lines downward direction. From point number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I draw vertical lines in upward direction. So I have drawn the vertical lines like this. After this, from all the corresponding points like 1 dash, 2 dash, etc. on the inner circle, draw horizontal lines towards outside. Towards outside means that from point number 1 dash, 2 dash, 9 dash and 10 dash, we have to draw lines towards left, and from 4 dash, 5 dash, 6 dash and 7 dash, we have to draw horizontal lines towards right. So we draw the lines like this, and these horizontal and vertical lines intersect. After this, mark all the intersecting points and also the points on the major and the minor axis A, B, C and D. So we get a number of points like this. These are the points on the required ellipse. So by drawing a smooth curve passing through all these points, we will get an ellipse of the given major axis AB and minor axis CD. The next method of drawing an ellipse is drawing ellipse by rectangle method when the major and minor axes are given to us. So the first step is to draw a rectangle taking the major and the minor axis as the sides of the rectangle. So EFGH is the rectangle where EF is the length of the major axis and GF is the length of the minor axis. In this rectangle, draw both the axes as perpendicular bisectors of each other. AB is the major axis, CD is the minor axis, and O is the point of intersection of these two. So what we have done is we have divided this rectangle into 4 equal parts. For construction, we select the upper part of the rectangle. So divide the vertical small side AE and the horizontal side AO into same number of equal parts. I am dividing it into 4 parts each. You can divide in any number of parts more than 4. This is how I divide AE into 4 equal parts and AO also into 4 equal parts, and I write the names starting from point A. In both the cases, on the horizontal line as well as on the vertical line, I start writing the names of the points starting from point A. Then the points 1, 2, 3, 4 on the vertical line AE. Join all these points to the upper end of the minor axis, that is point C. And all the points on the horizontal line AO, that is our point numbers 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash, 4 dash, to the lower end of the minor axis D. Extend D1 dash so that it intersects with the line C1 and mark the point of intersection. So this is how I join C to 1, D to 1 dash and mark the point of intersection. We can call it point P1. Similarly, join C to point 2, D to 2 dash and extend and mark the point of intersection. And for point 3 also do the same construction. We will get number of points like this. Also mark the ends of the major axis and the minor axis. Now do similar construction in the right side part and the lower part. So we get number of points within the rectangle. Then join all these points with a smooth curve. We get the ellipse of the given major axis and the minor axis. Then coming to the next method, that is oblong method. Draw a parallelogram of 100 millimeters by 70 millimeter side with included angle 75 degrees and inscribe an ellipse in it. So the steps are quite similar to the previous rectangle method. Draw a parallelogram of the given size and divide it into 4 equal parts. Now, one thing that is very important here is that AB and CD are not the major and minor axis in this case. So divide the inclined small side and the horizontal long side into 4 equal parts, similar to what we have done in case of a rectangle. So I get point number 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the inclined line and 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash and 4 dash on the horizontal line. Now same procedure, join the inclined points 1, 2, 3 and 4 to the upper end C and the horizontal points 1 dash, 2 dash, 3 dash and 4 dash to the lower end D. Then extend D1 dash to intersect the line C1 and mark all the points of intersection. Also mark the end points A and C. So this is the construction that we have done on the top half. Join all these points with a smooth curve. We will get half the ellipse. Then repeat the same procedure for lower half. We locate the points on the lower half and then join all these points by a smooth curve. We will get the complete ellipse. So you can see here that AB is not the major axis, CD is not the minor axis. We are going to study later how to locate the major axis and the minor axis if an ellipse is given to us.